Welcome to this afternoon's broadcast. TESPN is here for a big VISA football contest between Episcopal High School of Alexandria, Virginia, and Trinity Episcopal, your host. It is another gorgeous day on the banks of the James River, and we have two undefeated teams set to do battle here today. I'm Rick Hamlin here with Silvio Troy.
Hello.
Silvio, what are you expecting today?
I'm expecting a good match, of course. Both teams undefeated. The Trinity did lose to Episcopal last year, so it should be a very interesting match.
Yeah, we will pick up on that in 1 second. The national anthem is playing. All right, Silvio, so we were talking before the anthem about how last year when these two got together, Episcopal was able to come away with a 1-point win, 20-19, one of the very few losses that the Titans have had these last 2 years. And I think revenge is definitely on the mind of a lot of these players, but clearly EHS brings a talented team here. So,
Of course.
Last year, Titans went 8-3. The three losses being to St. Christopher's, who of course ended up not winning the state because we did, and Bishop McNamara from up in Maryland, and these very own Maroon, as they're called, from Episcopal High School. So one of the things that was talked about last night at the team dinner, which I had the privilege to attend, was settling those scores from the losses last year, and that's about to go down now, the attempt of the Titans to get that measure of revenge. But like we said, both teams come in undefeated, so we're expecting a good one. And there's the opening kickoff from J.D. Stemhagen, fielded at about the 1, and brought out across the 20 by Malik Johnson, and I believe it was Isaiah Robinson with the tackle on special teams for the Titans. So
good run there by Justin Armstead. I mean, able to get a good 15 yards, I think.
Yeah, more than that even. I think he fielded about the 1 or 2 and brought it out to the 23 almost.
Oh, wow.
So, but yeah, about a 20-yard return or so. And we're going to see this vaunted Titan defense out on the field first. They've only given up 28 points in the first 3 games. I think that's less than 10 points per game.
Yeah.
And even the 7 last week against Norfolk Academy was pretty much all with backups. And okay, so already we got a little extracurricular action going on. So the quarterback kept it there, Alexander Brady, and picked up a yard maybe, and then slid, and it looked like was it Mario Thompson
Elijah Rayner
or Elijah Rayner leapt over him so as not to hit the quarterback who'd given himself up, but one of the offensive linemen took exception to that threw Elijah to the ground, and that's going to be a personal foul against the Maroon. That'll be half the distance to the goal, so it's also a post-snap penalty, so it should be second down, second and about 23, as EHS puts himself in a tough spot here right off the bat.
Are you talking about the tension between these two schools and, how much they want to play hard and win this game?
Yeah, for sure. That pass was complete out to J.C. Claudier, one of the 4 Canadian players on Episcopal High School. And, of course, Episcopal, a boarding school, all of their players board there. So they're from all over the United States and Canada looking at this roster.
Even some from China.
Yeah, China as well. Peter Fu is from China, who we may see get some action here later. But 3rd and long for the Maroon on this first possession of the game. The lefty throws it. Almost picked off. Cornell Allen dropped it. I actually think Cam Fleming cut right across his face and may have distracted him. So 3 and out. Good defensive stand by the Titans,
for sure,
as EHS wasn't able to get really anything positive going. However, could have been an incredible field position, or even, we saw Cornell Allen last week with the pick 6. And if he had gotten his hands on that ball, who knows what he would have done with it. So the Maroon set to punt. It looks like, I believe Alexander Brady, the quarterback, correction, it's 17, not 7 on the punt. And that is Tad Tan with the punt, number 17. Decent punt. I think the line of scrimmage was the 16, traveled out of bounds at the 46. So about a 30-yard punt, which I'd say for high school is about average, but still going to be good starting field position for the Titans. And now that they're marking it, it's the 47. So Titans will start in Episcopal territory for the first possession.
One thing that we haven't seen this year that we saw a lot last year was Trey Ferguson and his, receives and how many yards he can get. That was one thing I haven't seen in Norfolk or this game yet, of course. There's only been 1 kick. But that's something I'm excited for because Trey is just so good at doing that.
Yeah, for sure. I think teams maybe are not kicking to him because he's so explosive in the return game. But you're right, Silvio. He had a bunch of punt returns last year for touchdowns and big gains. As they fake the reverse, looking deep for Trey Ferguson, but he's well covered. And Tegan Logan still gets it in to Trey Ferguson. What a pass and what a catch. That man you were just talking about, Silvio, Trey Ferguson, hauls in a 24-yard reception, and that's Titan first down. Trey Ferguson, I don't know if we mentioned this yet today. I know we mentioned it last week, but he's committed to the Naval Academy, and he'll be going on to Annapolis next year. And great catch there by Trey Fergie, who will forever go down in Titan sports history as the man who caught the winning 2-point conversion in the overtime of the state championship game last year against Benedictine.
Good for Trey and open that cape. But Tegan Logan, he had 2 guys on him. Immense pressure. He's able to make that throw, which is amazing.
Yeah, great arm strength shown by Tegan Logan on that last one. And then the Titans go to the ground with Trey Grant, picked up 3. And Silvio, you and I have been talking about this since last year, that Trey Grant just runs so hard, ferocious between the tackles, not afraid of contact. In fact, I'd say he loves contact, really.
Yeah.
His dad was telling me last night that, if he has open field, he'll go find a defender because he wants that contact. And this time he finds open field all the way for a touchdown, Titans, right in front of the student section. Trey Grant with the score as the smoke emerges from the student section. Not sure if you can see that on your stream, but that was pretty cool. Some white smoke coming out of the student section.
No, a great run by Trey Grant there, able to find the opening.
Great
He
run
had
by
someone
Trey
on,
Grant, and
he's able to shake him off, it looked like.
for the first time in ESPN history, you see our graphics coming into play with the Trey Grant touchdown. As we have producer Ellie Hoke on the case. Also, executive producer Carter Tyree up here with us. As the extra point is good. And 7-0 Titans. So pretty perfect start from a Trinity standpoint. 3 and out defensively, and then a 3-play touchdown drive offensively. Like I said, I know these guys were extremely motivated for this game, and so far you can see that.
Yeah. Definitely good by Trey Grant there. I mean, he's able to make, a play for around a couple yards and then get the touchdown. I think, just showing off, as you were saying, he's good for contact, and he even had a guy on him shaking him off to be able to get the 6-point touchdown there. I think that's just overall we see, Trey Grant taking a look and Trey Ferguson making that whole three plays happen.
Right. So 3 is Trey. 3 plays, all to Trey.
Yeah.
The first to Trey Ferguson, the second and third to Trey Grant, and that's a trifecta of Treys. This kickoff is returned out to the 25. With Malik Johnson carrying it out there for the Maroon. So they'll start just about where that first drive started, maybe a couple yards further down the field. And Titan defense back out here, and they were awesome that first possession.
See what they can do their second.
Student section getting loud behind the EHS offenses. They're going to hand it off here.
Cedric Binning on the carry for the Maroons, brought down by the Titans.
Cedric Binning out of Baltimore on the carry for no gain.
I think a little lost there as well.
Maybe, yeah, lost about 1.5 yards. Sylvia, did you see who had the tackle there?
I did not. Just saw a lot of green.
Yeah, there were a bunch of guys around him.
I think Derek Badley was in there as well as Robbie Dunn, but I'm not really sure exactly who.
All right, 2nd and 11. Brady out of the shotgun. The left-handed pass, and Mario Thompson is there to disrupt that. Was caught by Cedric Binning, but another loss of yardage. This time they lost about 4 yards as Thompson read it beautifully out in the flat, and Binning had nowhere to go. It does occur to me, Silvio, I know you're a big football fan. Having a quarterback with the last name Brady is pretty good omen if you're an Episcopal fan. Some might say the GOAT is also named Brady.
I know someone, Jackson Smith, would love hearing that.
Yeah. Who do you like in the NFL?
NFL, I think I've just grown up as being a Commanders fan.
My man. Only Commanders fans allowed in this broadcast. All right, 3rd and 15. They're going deep. Well covered by Deuce Edwards. I cannot believe they're going to throw a flag on that. But I think they're going to get Deuce for pass interference. Ball was well over the head of the receiver. But one thing to note, in high school football, uncatchable is not a thing. Like, in the NFL, football is uncatchable, then the interference goes away. But if you interfere, even if it's uncatchable, it counts. And I just thought the ball had already hit the ground pretty much by the time Deuce made contact. But it is going to be pass interference. It's going to be a 15-yard penalty on 3rd and 15, an automatic first down. It was Bryce Ebeneth who was the intended receiver there for the Maroon. He is another one of the Episcopal players from Canada. Ebeneth hails from Ottawa. All right, so the first down of the game for Episcopal brings it out to the 35. Wow. This time it's John Brooks getting into the backfield and throwing the ball carrier for about a 5-yard loss. I think that was Aiden Nelson who got the ball there out of Hagerstown, Maryland. And 5-yard loss for Nelson. And really, other than the pass interference, pretty much every Episcopal play has gone backwards.
Yeah.
I guess the first drive they did have about a 5 or 6 yard pass to the tight end on second down, but this Titan defense looks ready to play. That PI on Deuce was the one self-inflicted wound. So 2nd and 15, Brady. It's a good-looking pass and well covered this time by Deuce Edwards as he breaks it up. Boom, Jock was the intended receiver, and Jock had a couple 50-plus yard touchdowns in Episcopal season opening victory over Loudoun Valley a couple weeks ago. So he's definitely a threat. He is committed to Colorado State University, where he'll play football next year. And Boom Jock, also a very good basketball player, was all league up in the IAC, really strong league up in the DC, Northern Virginia area.
Oh, wow.
And he is from Minnesota. Boom Jock. Maybe the best name in all of high school sports. It's definitely fun to say. All right, so it's going to be a reset of the play clock here on 3rd and 15. So Episcopal just had 3rd and 15 3 plays ago, and they were able to draw that pass interference. See what they look to do here. Brady calls Boom Jock to switch to the other side of the formation. 3 receivers out to the right.
None to the left.
And it is completed for a short gain to Brooks Whitmire.
Brought down by Cornell Allen, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Whitmire picked up 4 yards, so going to be 4th and 11.
Yeah.
And the Maroon offense still on the field, 4th down in their own territory. And Coach Mickens is going to get a timeout, as it looked like there was some confusion. I think that some of the Titans were expecting a punt, and Trey Ferguson ran on the field.
Yeah.
So then Cam Fleming ran off, so they didn't have a too many men penalty. But then they didn't have Cam Fleming, who you obviously want to have out there. So I think a smart timeout, and you see 4th and 11. So will Episcopal go for it? They certainly showed a formation to go for it. It's a big call this early in the game to go for a 4th and 11 in your own territory.
And then, you know, as you're a former coach, and I always like to ask you, how do you feel about, timeouts? You think, very early in the game, as you just said, the timeout's very early. How do you feel about that timeout?
I think they had to call it because, and now you do see Episcopal send out the punt team, but with Cam Fleming not on the field, you're really at a disadvantage as a Titan defense. If it was the second half, when time, is going to tend to be perhaps a little more important if it's a close game, I would be more hesitant to want to waste a timeout. But I think that was a good one, and also it forced Episcopal to rethink going for it, and they end up punting. It's a very good punt and takes a huge EHS bounce. That ball probably bounced 20 yards all the way inside the 20, and it's down at the 17 of the Titans. So good punt.
Yep.
Let's see, from the 34, it was about a 49-yard punt there by Tad Tan, the Episcopal kicker from Chicago, Illinois. it's always fun playing these boarding schools and seeing. For me, I enjoy seeing where all the players are from.
So like shows how big football is, in America.
And
broad
Canada.
spectrum. Yeah.
And apparently China. All right, Titan offense back on the field. First drive was 3 plays and a score. Good positive play there as Trey Grant picked up 6 yards or so on first down.
I mean, from my angle, you see how explosive he was through the gap there, right into, I think, 2 players' arms. So, as you're saying, he just loves contact, and I think he showed it during that play.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Trey kind of has it all the attributes you'd want in a running back. Great vision, hard to bring down. He's got a quick burst. And you see him here again, this time run it for 6 yards and a first down. I think the one thing sometimes last year, he sometimes tried to improvise too much and not go with what the play call was. But I feel like this year he knows what holes he's supposed to hit, and he's been incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, we've said a lot of great things about so many of these Titan players, but Trey Grant is right there, particularly offensively, among the stars of this team.
I think to add to that list you were saying is he's very reliable.
Yes.
There were very few plays last year where he gave a loss of yardage to the Titans, and I think he's showing it this year as well that he's not someone that would do that.
That's a great point, Silvio. He almost never loses yardage. I mean, worst case, even if there's nothing there, he'll get you back to the line of scrimmage. And another thing when you mention reliability is you don't want a running back who will fumble. And I don't want to jinx it, but I don't remember really Trey ever fumbling either so far. And for us as Commanders fans, Antonio Gibson has that issue sometimes, so it can be a little scary. Now, this time it is Mario Thompson playing tailback, and Rio picked up about 2 yards. I don't think we mentioned that on 1st and 10, the Titans did take a 5-yard penalty for illegal procedure. So that was 1st and 15, and now it's going to be 2nd and about 14, as it looks like Rio really only picked up 1 yard there. So 2nd and 14, first time that Trinity's been behind the sticks offensively.
First time I've seen Rio as a running back.
Yeah, he did that some last year, but he's been used very sparingly, if at all, as a running back this year. Of course, he plays a huge role defensively as a linebacker. And that's a pretty good run. That's Mario Thompson again, picking up 5 out to the 30. But it will be 3rd and 9 as Elijah Rayner checks in on offense. He doesn't play a ton offensively either, but he's going to come in for Carter Shuma. And I know the coaches are very high on Elijah as a tight end. He does most of his work on the D-line, but I'll be interested to see if they target him here, number 6. And on 3rd and 9, they do run it. It's not going to be enough for a first down, but it's close.
Yeah.
As a great second effort there by Mario Thompson brought him within about a yard of the line to gain. And it is going to be 4th and 1. And no sign of the offense coming off the field. So I think Coach Mickens is going to go for it here on 4th and 1.
Wait a minute, they might have been a first down.
Well, okay, now they are moving the chains. We'll take it. I think that may have been a little bit of a generous spot. I didn't think he got it from my vantage point, but that second effort, they give it to him. So that's a big first down.
Yeah. Definitely showing the capability of Mario Thompson as a running back.
Yeah, now it's Trey Grant again, Mr. Reliable. It's a big run. Unfortunately, there's a bunch of flags on the play, so I think that this is going to come back. I count at least 4 flags. 1, 2, 3, and 4 over by the 40-yard line. I don't know if I've ever seen 4 flags on one play.
We'll bring up 1st and 20 for Trinity.
Well, that's a shame for Trey Grant because he would have had about a 25 or 30-yard gain there,
Yeah,
but
30 yards.
So there's holding on the Titans. There was also an illegal block below the waist. They're going to go ahead and take the holding penalty, and that's going to put Trinity in first and long.
Is almost every ref pulled out their flag that
Yeah.
play?
1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 refs,
So 4 to
and there
5.
were 4 flags.
I thought I don't know, someone on the Titans has bright yellow shoes. Thought they were a flag for a second.
Yeah, I think that's Brennan Ridley.
Yeah.
And so ball moved all the way back to the 25. It's going to be first and 24.
Another long play for the Titans. I feel like they were just back there.
Yeah.
Their old downs.
So far this drive, it's been all runs. This time, Tegan Logan looks to pass, and it's complete to the man in the yellow shoes, Brennan Ridley. And he makes a great move and picks up a lot of yardage. Ultimately, it's going to be about a 17-yard gain.
17-yard gain.
So second and still about 7, but very manageable, compared to being at first and 24 just a minute ago.
Yeah, for sure.
That was excellent run after the catch by Brennan Ridley. So the clock rolls to 2 minutes here to go in quarter number 1. Titans up 7-0. If you just joined us, it was Trey Grant with a 20-yard touchdown run on the first Titan possession of the game. And the defense has been stout, giving up only 1 first down off of a pass interference penalty. Flag's going to go down here. I think it's going to be against the Titans, but there's also going to be a flag in the secondary for what's going to be pass interference against Episcopal. That pass intended for the freshman phenom, Devion Fat Rat Brown, and Brown was interfered with in the secondary, but then I think you're also going to have some sort of a pre-snap penalty on the Titans, so I think, or the only other thing it could be is maybe offsides on Episcopal. No, it is an illegal shift on the offense. And then the pass interference. So that's going to offset, and it'll be 2nd and 7 again.
Penalties on both teams will be offsetting. Come on, guys. We got it.
That is, I think, the second or third penalty for the Trinity.
Yeah.
Overall.
Yeah, that's something they're going to want to clean up for sure. I mean, there was the big pass interference penalty on the defense that gave Episcopal their only first down. Then the holding on the first down play in this possession that took away a big Trey Grant run. And then that was a penalty for a legal shift where one of the wide receivers didn't come set before the snap. So those are some self-inflicted wounds for sure, and that pass interference would have brought the ball into Episcopal territory if not for the illegal shift penalty. So timeout was called there by Episcopal. That's going to be their first timeout, and
After the maroon timeout.
assistant producer Ellie Hoke switching the graphics for us.
I think you said second and
So, yeah, still second down. 1:32 to go in quarter number 1. Fumble. The Maroon have it
yeah, I believe so.
as the the handoff exchange between Tegan Logan and Trey Grant was not a clean one.
Yep.
And I kind of feel like I jinxed it a few minutes ago when I said how Trey Grant doesn't fumble. Now, I'm not sure if that one goes on Trey or on Tegan, that just didn't get it to him cleanly, and Episcopal was going to take over in great field position at the Titan 39. I believe it was Boom Jock with the recovery for Episcopal.
So able to see there. I mean, great.
It was either 2 or
reaction.
3, either Boom Jock or Aiden Nelson, I'm pretty sure. But, again, great field position for the Maroon. Let's see if they can take advantage here. The lefty, Brady, gets it out in the flat to Nelson, but there's nothing there. Cam Fleming, Mario Thompson.
By Cam Fleming and Mario Thompson.
Jay Williams also got in on the action, and that goes for no gain. 2nd and 10. As we get under a minute to go in quarter number 1. This time the handoff goes to Benning, and no gain there as Elijah Rayner
No gain, stopped
brought him
by
down.
Elijah Rayner.
So it's going to be 3rd and 10.
Showing the stopping power, especially with Elijah Rayner, Cam Fleming, Mario Thompson, some of those older seniors have to make sure no gain is.
Yeah, there's Elijah is committed to William and Mary.
Cam VT, I believe.
Cam Fleming to Virginia Tech, Mario Thompson, Old Dominion, Robbie Dunn, VMI, and Hunter Brooks, Davidson. So that's 5 Division I commits on the defense, and then you start looking at our juniors, and the offer lists get quite long. So this defense is just stocked with talent. So that's the end of the first quarter. Titans up 7-0. The second quarter will begin with a 3rd and 10 coming up for Episcopal.
Yeah.
I noticed that class of 2022 graduate Connor Erlenbach is on the sidelines, and a lot of his former teammates are excited to see Bach, one of our all-time favorites here at TESPN. One of my indelible memories from the state championship game last year was about 45 minutes after the game ended, Connor Erlenbach kissing the shield at midfield, knowing that he had just played his last football game here, was really, I don't know, it's just as an educator, seeing that kind of love and pride for your school was really heartwarming. But once a Titan, always a Titan, and good to see Bach back on the sidelines. All right, 3rd and 10. Brady looking deep, good coverage by Deuce Edwards, and they are going to throw a flag as Brady looked for Boom Jock, and it was a close one. But they're going to get Deuce Edwards for his 2nd pass interference of the game.
Always looking at Deuce is one of the very good corners here for the Titans defense, as you said. One of them younger players with, the list of offers. That seems a little overwhelming, and he's got to be upset with himself. That's his 2nd PI flag, and you just can't let that happen.
No, for sure, and that's especially when they're not otherwise moving the ball a whole lot. I mean, both first downs the Maroon have came off of pass interference.
Yeah.
And there was definitely some contact. I mean, you also have to kind of gauge how the refs are going to call things as Brady slides for a short gain there.
On the quarterback keeper.
Sometimes officials allow a little bit of contact, but clearly they're calling it tight on the pass interference calls. Episcopal got called for one as well on Devion Brown. So that's 3, and we're just barely over a quarter into this thing. And you have to adjust.
Yeah.
Just can't touch them. All right. 2nd and 6 as Brady picked up 4 there. This time they're going to hand it off. And Cedric Benning fought hard, but didn't really gain any yardage, but he did well not to lose yards there.
Yeah.
As Derek Bagley was in on the tackle.
It's one thing I was talking to, I'm good buddies with Will Rosen, one guy on the O-line there, and just seeing Derek Bagley, such of a big guy he is, I never want to be the opposing center. Derek just towers over you like that.
Yeah, he's really good. He missed pretty much all last year with a knee injury as the 3rd down and 6 play goes incomplete, and it looks like
Pass is incomplete.
Episcopal is going to try a field goal here as Tad Tan, the senior kicker from Chicago, comes out. It's going to be a 37-yard attempt, and we were watching Tad Tan in warm-ups. He's got a lot of leg. He was getting them there from like 50. Some were going left, so it's not really any wind today on this. I mean, absolutely picture-perfect day here. And let's see if he's able to, again, plenty of leg. It does drift toward the left, and no good. No good. So just what we saw in warm-ups with Tad Tan. He's got a really strong leg, but just like what we were saying, they drift a little to the left at the end, and that's exactly what happened. So the Titans survive that fumble on the exchange from Tegan Logan to Trey Grant and do not give up any points. And I know defensive coordinator Wally Rayner doesn't ever want to give up points. And at the team dinner last night, he was talking about goose egg, and we're not going to let them score. And so far, that goose egg remains in the guest column. So the Titans will take over at their own 20. And I'm sure offensive coordinator Malcolm Bell has been in the ear of Tegan Logan, just tell him to clean up those handoff exchanges.
Yeah.
And there's a good handoff to Trey Grant as they go right back to their bell cow, Trey Grant, and what a powerful run. He showed it all there, the vision, the burst, and the physicality. Picks up 13 yards and a first down.
I think it was Cedric Benning might have been on the tackle there. I'm not really sure who. Actually, I believe it was J.C. Cutler instead for the Episcopal stop.
Yeah, J.C. Cloutier, I believe, is from Mont Saint Hilaire, Canada. Trey Grant again. This time he cuts it outside, and again it's Cloutier with the tackle. Silvio, you don't take French, do you?
Do not. Taking Latin.
That's a good
You took
language.
French, right?
What's that?
You took French, correct?
I did take French, and it was all so I'd be able to pronounce Cloutier 25 years after high school. I'm probably going to get a text that it's actually like Clauder, but I'm sticking with the French. All right, 2nd and 7 as Grant picked up just 3 yards that time. Tegan Logan looking deep. Trey Ferguson broke free, but it was Cloutier again on the coverage. He's doing a nice job, the senior from Canada. So it's going to be 3rd and 7. I think this is a big play just to get this first down and try and flip the field a little. And we've got a mouthpiece hanging down from Trey Ferguson, and I guess it has to be in his mouth. So they're going to send him off the field. Has to sit out a play. Elijah Rayner comes in, which is not exactly a like-for-like substitution, as a quick, smallish wide receiver goes out and a big tight end comes in. Tegan Logan's going to take off, and he picks up the first down, gets out to midfield as the quarterback shows off the wheels there and picks up a big first down. And I knew I could count on my man Fitz, Episcopal basketball coach Jim Fitzpatrick, one of the best high school basketball coaches in America, is watching and just texted me. It is Cloutier. Thanks, Fitz.
I believe
State champion winning coach and player. Legend.
Another Canadian was able to take Tegan Logan down last play.
Yeah, Team Canada. All right, Trey Grant picks up 5. I'm sorry, that's actually Mario Thompson this time on the first down carry. And the other thing I want to say about my guy Fitz is he owns St. Stephen St. Agnes. And executive producer Carter Tyree up here with us, a alum of St. Stephen St. Agnes. But sorry, bud. Actually, the last couple of years, the Saints have been pretty amazing in basketball. All right, enough about that. 2nd and 5 from the 45. Little fake handoff, and it goes to Trey Ferguson. And the Navy commit gets a 9-yard gain and another first down.
Good for a Titan. First down.
The only thing already, just comparing the two teams, Titans have been able to get these constant first downs, constant new downs. Episcopal seems to be struggling in that aspect a little bit. Their first down have come from some flags on the Trinity defense. They've only seen yardage from, I believe, 1 or 2 plays. Positive yardage. I think that's one thing to be looking forward at the game in general, though.
Mario Thompson thrown for a loss this time. Great job by Bryce Ebeneth, another player out of Canada from Ottawa. Ebeneth threw Thompson for a loss of 2. And the play clock goes down to 1, and the Titans call a timeout rather than take the delay of game penalty. Looked like Tegan Logan was trying to change the play, call an audible, but time was about to run out. And so Coach Miggins calls the timeout, and offensive coordinator Malcolm Bell is going to talk to his offense here with 2nd and 12 coming up. That's going to leave the Titans with just 1 timeout here in the first half.
Yeah.
And Silvio, before you ask me, because you always do when timeouts are called, if I think that was a good timeout, I think so, because it would have, if they got the delay of game, it would have been 2nd and about 16, and that just puts you in a tough spot. And again, if it was the second half where you really might want those timeouts to preserve clock late in the fourth quarter of a close game. In the first half, I don't feel like they're quite as valuable. And, of course, they'll reset for the second half. So I think if Coach Mickens and Coach Bell thought they also just didn't look like they were on the same page offensively there. So regroup. I'm going to look for a big play here. I think coming out of the timeout, the Titans are going to have an excellent play drawn up here. Trey Ferguson goes in motion, and they get it into the hands of Devion Brown. I called for a big play. You got a big play. Touchdown, Titans.
What a play.
38-yard touchdown to Fat Rat Devion Brown. And that extends the lead to 13-0.
As you're saying, out of that timeout, they were expecting something big. They saw something big. First time we've seen Davion Brown with the ball, because he did get a PI flag.
Right.
When he tried to get a catch earlier on. So I think we're probably going to see more out of Davion Brown this game.
For sure. Well, that's now already his 7th touchdown on the young season for the freshman. Yeah, it's the old swinging gate. Not a good snap, but Brandon Ridley picks it up off the turf, and they get the 2-point conversion. Wow. That is not how you draw it up. Let it bounce off the turf, but it popped up nicely for Brandon Ridley, and he completed the pass to Trey Ferguson for the 2-point conversion, and that extends the lead to 15-0. That was pretty exciting.
Yeah, I mean, looked pretty similar to last year's state championship play. A little more jumbled up, but they got the pass to Trey Ferguson.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, when Brennan threw the tee, I started having flashbacks to last year in the 2-point conversion that won that championship game. But this one was a little different, but ultimately was the same receiver in on the 2-point conversion, Trey Ferguson. All right, so.
Is it like just nothing, or is it like open air?
So 15-0 as J.D. Stemhagen looks to kick it short and angled. It's going to be picked up by the Maroon, and a big return all the way across midfield. Great job by Bryce Ebeneth, and he's been a real difference maker for the Maroon, offensively and defensively, and now in special teams.
I think it was J.D. the one that pushed him out of bounds there.
Yeah, it's never a great sign when your kicker has to make the tackle, but JD's a heck of an athlete, great baseball player as well. And it will be good field position, though, for Episcopal. 1st and 10 from the 48. All right, Brady rolls left. Good move, and then he slides again, and he picked up 4 yards. Alexander Brady, the quarterback. And I actually think that's the longest first down gain that Episcopal's had. That so many times they've had end up with second and over 10 yards, but this time it'll be 2nd and 6 or so.
Seen, I think it was the 3rd or 4th slide Brady's done for some positive yardage.
Yeah, Brady definitely does not want to take any extra punishment from those Titan linebackers, and I can't say that I blame him. So once he gets a few yards, he slides and gives himself up, and this time he's going to hand it off, and they just have not been able to get anything between the tackles. You can tell that Cedric Benning is a talented running back.
Yep.
He looks shifty and quick, but there's just no holes for him there as this Titan D-line clogs it up. So going to be 3rd, and looks like Benning actually lost a yard or so there. So 3rd and 7.
Yeah, I think it was like John Brooks, Elijah Rayner. They're not letting him go anywhere there. I mean,
yeah, Elijah Rayner's had a great first half, the William & Mary commit. 3rd and 7. Titan student section getting loud. Great turnout today. And they do complete it. Looks like it's going to be a little short of the first down, but it's going to bring up 4th and 2. And that was Brooks Whitmire on the catch. All right, 4th and 2.
First real big catch we've seen by Episcopal for some really positive yardage. Hopefully we can see that more from them.
Now Brady checks with his coaches, makes a bit of an audible. Still plenty of time on the play clock. Hunter Brooks showed blitz and now backs off. Brady's going to run for it. He's not going to get there as Mario Thompson comes up and makes the tackle in space. I thought Brady had it. He had a little hole out there, but Mario Thompson flew up. Great play by the Old Dominion commit, and it turns over on downs as the Titans will take it back. Great job by Mario.
Yeah, even I say when Brady was initially being tackled, he fought for that first down. I think he almost had it too.
Yeah, there was no slide that time. I mean, Brady, stuck it in there, tried to put a shoulder pad down, but Mario Thompson said no. And Titans will take over at their own 41. Yeah, 41-yard line, first down and 10.
Should I keep speaking? Yeah, they can hear it over the
And Trey Grant crosses midfield. He's got a first down and more. Finally brought down at the 42, but that is a 17-yard gain and a first down.
Yeah, really good first down from Trey there.
And the Titans looking to kind of speed it up here offensively. No huddle as we got 4:20 to go in the first half.
Play pass off to Trey Grant.
This time Trey Grant
Trey Grant
picks up
again
3 yards.
picks up about
across the
3
40.
yards for the Titans.
Titans still no huddle. Stick around at halftime because we have got Trinity Episcopal Athletic Director Anna Prilliman coming up to the box, and we're going to interview Miss Prilliman and just talk to her about this incredible start to the fall for Titan Athletics.
Yeah.
So as soon as this first half ends, we're going to have Miss Prilliman, and I'm really looking forward to getting a chance to sit down with her and talk for a few minutes
You know,
as we've got 3.5 minutes to go in the first half. Tegan Logan did not handle that snap, but he scoops it up. Saw what Brennan Ridley did on the conversion and throws it. Caught! Trey Ferguson got a foot down, and that is a catch for a big gain of about 15, 16-yard gain. I mean, you could go a whole season and not see one play where a quarterback picks up a bad snap off a bounce and completes a pass, and we've seen it twice in this quarter.
Yeah.
By 2 different quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Just incredible. Trey Grant runs that one. Yeah, our
Fighting to be,
producer Ellie Hoke here cannot believe what she just saw, and I can barely believe it either. That was amazing.
I believe both those passes went to
Trey,
Ferguson.
yeah. I guess that's one of the plays in our playbook. Have a bad snap, pick it up, run around, find Trey
Being pressured
Ferguson.
by 2 guys and then get it to Trey Ferguson.
I need to
I
talk
like
to
that
Coach
one a
Bell
lot.
about that play.
Probably confuses the opponent.
Yeah.
Gets their mental down.
Yeah, all part of the plan, Sylvia. All right, so it's second and about 4, I think,
5 seconds with the play
as
clock.
we hit 2.5 minutes. Trey Grant is going to get the first down, and he's going to get inside the 10-yard line and finally brought down.
For another Trinity first down.
And it's at the, it looks like the 9 is where they'll spot it. So first and goal. Good blocking there by the O-line. Yeah, play clock down to 5. And flags fly. I think one of the Titans jumped.
Yeah.
Seemed a little out of sync there. I do think, they're in this hurry-up offense, but now I think they want to run the clock to not leave Episcopal much time if they want to counter with an offensive possession. But it looked like Tegan started clapping his hands. He wanted the snap, and 1 or 2 guys jumped, but the snap never came. So instead of second and goal for, or sorry, is it still first and goal? No.
Still first and goal.
Yes. Still first and goal. My bad.
Around like
Oh, Tegan Logan pulls it. He's going to run. He's headed toward the corner. Pushed out inside the 5. And
Tegan Logan.
he stayed on his feet. When he got down near the track there, I got a little worried just
Yeah,
because
just-
in cleats, if you go from the turf
the
onto that
track.
track, I've seen people bite it. But Tegan stayed on his feet, and it is going to be second and goal from the 5. 1:43 to go. They faked the handoff, and he looked for Devion Brown on the slant, but Brown was not able to haul it in.
Third down.
Malik Johnson, I believe. Really good coverage for
Yeah, it
Brown-
was good
on Brown
coverage
there.
out there by, you said it was Johnson on the coverage for
Yeah,
Episcopal?
26.
All right, so third and goal. Handoff to Trey Grant. He cuts back. He's still on his feet. And he's in for the score. Trey Grant
Wow.
showing off all the skills that we talked about before, the vision, the cutback, and then the physicality to get across the goal line. And that makes it 21-0
Yeah.
with a minute and a half to go.
I believe that is Trey Grant's second touchdown.
Yes, second touchdown of the day for Trey Grant. Devion Brown has a touchdown, and Trey Ferguson had the 2-point conversion catch. This time,
Okay. I think I turned the right one off.
looks like they're setting up
Thank you, Al.
to kick the extra point
You never
instead
know,
of go
really.
for 2. And the kick is good by J.D. Stemhagen. So with a minute and a half to go in the first half, Titans out to a 22-0 lead. Did see a late flag come in after that as guys were running off the field. I'm wondering if somebody said something, maybe a little trash talk, and I don't know which team it's going to go against, but this either could be a kickoff from further back for Stemhagen, or if it's on Episcopal, it could be from further up.
Little
And I think it is. I'm a little confused because our personal foul on Trinity. So it's after the kick went in. So there is going to be a 15-yard mark off here, and J.D. Stemhagen's going to have to kick it from his own 25 instead of the 40. I have no idea what it was for, but my only guess is after the kick went through, a Titan player either said something or hit somebody a little late. So that's a break for Episcopal, especially with a minute and a half left. If they get good field position, they can try and get a score before halftime.
real good clock run down from the Titans there, and they're able to go get a touchdown.
All right, kick is scooped up. Good return. Big hit, though, by Hunter Brooks. It was Justin Armstead bringing it out to the 40. Good tackle by Hunter Brooks, but, I mean, this is good field position, and if you're Episcopal down 22-0, you might want to, try and get some points on the board before halftime. We know that Tad Tan has a strong leg, so if they can get a couple first downs, they might be in field goal range.
Yeah.
And the Maroon do still have 2 timeouts. But Silvio, as you know, also this Titan defense can score.
Yeah.
If you're not careful putting the ball in the air. We've seen pick sixes just last week against Norfolk Academy, and that pass falls to the turf as Alexander Brady was trying to get it out to Brooks Whitmire, but Cornell Allen was providing great pass coverage, and it's going to be 2nd and 10. Another reminder, we got Athletic Director Anna Prillman set to join us at halftime, so Titan fans, definitely stick around. You're going to want to hear from her. Brady rolling out, throws it over the middle. It is picked off, and that is intercepted by Zaire Rayner. We said these DBs are very capable of creating a play, and Zaire is able to get the interception. And now with 1:07 left in the first half, the Titans, will they try and tack on a few more points before the half?
I'd be expecting to see some long passing plays taken here to see another.
Yeah, might as well take a shot, right? I mean, you got Devion Brown, you got Trey Ferguson. We haven't seen Isaiah Robinson targeted yet, but he's another exciting young receiver.
That Trey Grant, he could definitely run the ball down the field if he sees an opening.
Exactly, and the Titans still have 1 timeout left, so that can aid them as well as if they're trying to put another score on the board here before halftime. So offense back out. Zaire Rayner got the turnover chain over on the sidelines. Tegan is looking deep. He's going deep for Brennan Ridley, and it's off his hands, but we see a flag come out again. And if that's going to be pass interference on Episcopal, I was not much in that either. I mean, they're really calling it close in coverage because, you know, I said that first one on Deuce Edwards was, I thought, a little soft, but I saw nothing wrong with the coverage there. Not to question these officials who do a great job, but I thought that the DB, I believe it was Cloutier, was right there on Brennan Ridley. So that's a huge penalty. Brings it almost to midfield there at the 47 and also stops the clock. So with 59 seconds to go, Titans are in business. Another flag. And it's a false start or illegal procedure on the offense. So I didn't see much there either. I don't know if they were a little bit of a makeup call or maybe the Titans did have someone flinch. I'm not sure. So 1st and 15 from the 42. It's out to Trey Ferguson, who actually dropped it, which you don't see much. Another flag comes out. That's the third flag in the last 2 plays. And it was in the area where the lines are, so I'm going to guess it was maybe a legal man downfield as maybe one of the offensive linemen went too far.
I think it might be a spot.
Now they're actually waving the flag off. So the head official says no flag after all, and it's 2nd and 15. And now a timeout Episcopal. So the Maroon call their 2nd timeout of the first half. They'll have 1 remaining. And Silvio, let me ask you here. So you're in 2nd and 15 at your own 42. 54 seconds, 1 timeout. Are you, if you're the Titans, you thinking try and get into field goal range? You thinking try and go deep and get a score? You thinking you run the ball and you're content to go into the locker room up 22-0? What are you doing here?
So, you know, we're already 22 up. We're, you know, the last thing in our minds is Episcopal scoring. You know, we have the ball. We have under a minute left. You know, a passing play could be in there. In fact, here, a field goal, you guys gets up to 25-0. A very, you know, sustainable lead as well. You know, touchdown gets us even more. So I'm guessing, you know, they've seen the long pass to Brennan. They had the, you know, the shorter connection to Trey, probably a run. Neither of those worked out, and I'm guessing they're most likely going to go with another long pass, probably that, you know, that talking about, you know, stop these flags.
Right.
Use for them.
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think I would go deep because if there's any contact, they've shown they'll throw the flag, so it puts a lot of pressure on those defensive backs. They fake the handoff to Trey Ferguson. Tegan Logan is going to take off, tackle from behind. That was an excellent job of pursuit by Bryce Ebeneth, who has, for me, been one of the most impressive Episcopal players in this first half. And for a minute there, it looked like Tegan Logan had a lot of green in front of him. I thought he was going to run for big yardage, but Ebeneth did well to chase him down from behind. And now the clock is running.
Maybe one more pass and play.
Yeah, they're not rushing it up too much as we get down around 20 seconds. And they're just going to run it with Trey Grant, but he picks up, it's very close to a first down, and with that 1 timeout left, I think you'll see the Titans maybe take a shot at the end zone. No, it looks like they're just content to let the clock run out. So our halftime score, Trinity Episcopal 22, Episcopal High School 0. Great first half for the Titans, Silvio. And we are going to let Silvio take a quick break here, and Athletic Director Anna Perlman's going to slide in and talk to her for a few minutes about this exciting start to the year in Titan Athletics. So, Silvio, we'll see you soon. Folks viewing at home, especially for our Trinity fans, you definitely want to stick around for this.
Hello.
Anna Perlman, welcome.
It's so nice to have the headphones on again.
Yeah, it's great to have you with us. So, Coach Perlman, obviously this fall we're here. It's September 24th.
Mm-hmm.
Things are looking great. Just kind of across the board for athletic program with football undefeated and defending state champions. Soccer #1 in the state, field hockey #1 in the state, tennis having one of their best starts in years. I know both cross-country teams are in action today. Volleyball has some big wins. So for you as the athletic director watching this program, the way it's flourishing, how does that make you feel, and what can you and your role do to keep this thing rolling?
Yeah, obviously there's a sense of pride in it because we work in it every day, but I think that you shouldn't work in education if you think success is ever a reflection of you. I mean, that's just not the mindset that you go into it with. So, yeah, I'm proud of it, but I think that's more attributed to the hard work that the coaches put in and, of course, these student athletes. Like I said in the paper in an article that came out today, it all started with this idea of operational excellence. So everything that's small, we make it a big deal in athletics, and that's the social media situation, things like TESPN, getting our coaches to understand our values and our culture, and silly things like uniforms and just all the nitty-gritty. And I feel like one of those things is not going to make a difference in your athletic program, but once they start building up on each other, you can see a difference literally in the amount of wins you have because you attract quality athletes to your school. So I think that's happening.
Yeah, for sure. And I saw the article this morning. Check it out, Titan fans. Richmond Times-Dispatch, a great article this morning that talks about the success football is having, but also the broad-based success in the athletic program. For you, in your role as AD, you get to see all the sports. So this is kind of a loaded question, but like, what, just as a sports fan, like, what do you enjoy? Like, when you look at your schedule for the week, like,
Yeah.
what do you get most excited to go check out?
Well, I've learned a lot about the game of field hockey in the last 10 years. And when I first started watching in 13, 14, I didn't understand all the whistles and the flow of the game. So I'm really enjoying that sport at this point, but there will always be a soft spot for me with LIS volleyball, and that's for obvious reasons. I coached it for so long, starting at St. Anne's Belfield right when I graduated college, and then going over to St. Catherine's for a while. In fact, I watched that volleyball match between Trinity and St. Catherine's. I guess it was Thursday. Am I correct on that?
Yeah.
And just a ton of nostalgia. Of course, I was rooting for the Titans, but I couldn't help but look up on the banners and notice a couple dates that I was part of. And I felt the fall weather that night. I darn near drove home to my old house that night because I was kind of in that mode. So that's the one that kind of pulls at my heartstrings the most. But gosh, the excitement of football, the hard work and grit of cross country, all of them really have something that stands out to me. So there's absolutely no sport that we offer that I kind of turn my nose up to.
Yeah, and then one of the things that I know we talked about last year was just the cohesiveness between all the programs, and I know you've made efforts to help the different program heads work together. And can you just talk about how you as AD, like, what does that look like for you to try and, like you said, get everyone to understand the culture and get everyone pulling in the same direction?
I think it's a thing that goes on like informally. I don't sit down at meetings and say, hey, field hockey coach, will you please talk to the volleyball coach more? You know, just inside conversations, I encourage everybody to go out and support one another. And, hey, I'm going to be at the soccer game. You should come, track coach. And they end up showing up and start shaking hands and introducing people. And next thing you know, we've got a heightened sense of community. So just like you say about kind of social things with teenagers, you can't force that.
Yeah.
And I think it's the same with adults and how we support one another. It's kind of got to happen organically. So there's things that I do here and there kind of behind the scenes that I would really honestly never tell anybody about to nudge people to become more supportive of one another. But largely it happens organically.
So one thing that's been kind of awesome about this fall so far is we're not using a word very much that we use nonstop for like about 2.5 years, which is COVID. And so we don't want to, to make a football metaphor, like spike the ball. We still occasionally have people pop positive and things like that. But how nice has it just been?
I know.
I mean, when you spent the better part of 2 full academic years plus having to, your job was consumed by the pandemic, and now that things are getting a little bit better, can you just talk about how that has changed things and maybe freed you up to do things you enjoy more?
Well, I felt like we were going to turn heads and kind of had arrived spring of 2020. I know you specifically had a really good girls soccer program that wasn't able to show what they were capable of, and our track program was really big that year, and there was just some things that I was so disappointed that we couldn't show the greater Richmond area because everything came to a halt, and you kind of got the sense that it was going to be a while until it got back to this. So yes, now that we seemingly are back to normal with the way we function in athletics, I don't have to talk about COVID at all, and like you said, it's still going on, but there's not any huge adjustments that we have to make to the week, so I can focus on things like building culture and making sure our coaches adhere to the values of Trinity and heightening our operational excellence. So it's nice to be able to spend time on stuff outside of reworking rules and calling other schools and asking them how they're handling this thing. It's just so refreshing.
Yeah, I bet that was, just like incredibly
miserable
hard
for everybody.
when different schools had different policies and whatnot. So also I have to, I can't let it pass. I don't think I'll ever get over that 2020 soccer team not getting their opportunity. But
I think you called me in like April, and you're like, "We are playing."
Right?
And
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know about that.
Yeah. That was probably wishful thinking, but it's all part of it. And when when you're committed, when you love it, it was definitely the stages of grief, realizing that wasn't going to happen. So I think I was in the bargaining phase at that point. But I guess maybe last question for you, but for you as someone who was an exceptional high school athlete in the late 90s, I think you graduated in 2000, at a time when female athletics was just starting to get some attention, but still nothing close to what it is now. When you watch our female athletes in particular get scholarship offers, or even just the recognition at morning meeting, or the crowds at their games that maybe weren't the case when we were growing up. How does that feel for you? What would Anna Perliman now say to 17-year-old Anna Perliman about the opportunities that female athletes have?
Yeah, there's a huge sense of pride with that side of this athletic program on the female side. I really look up to administrators like the Karen Doxies and the Julie Daytons of the world who have made sure that the LIS aligns with the VPL and the money and the things we offer. And so I feel like people before me did more work than I did. I was lucky enough to be in a situation in high school at Midlothian where the girls basketball team got more attention than the boys basketball team.
You were a lot better.
Yeah. We packed the gym, and I actually asked my dad recently, what's the secret sauce to making sure that the girls' sports got supported? Like, what did we do? And he said some things that Trinity kids do. And he said, you guys were popular in the school, but you went around and you supported everybody else. And you get support by supporting. And so I think that for instance, our field hockey team is a perfect example of that. They're at everything.
Yeah.
As a team.
Right.
They're at the basketball games as a team, the soccer games, the football games, of course, and they get that back. So if we can continue to nurture that, I love it for these girls because it's not weird for them. Like, they don't understand the whole Title IX fight and the things that we all had to go through. So hopefully it gets more normalized that, people come out to girls' sports. That's just as fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We could chat all day about this stuff, and maybe we'll get you on the podcast here as my podcast partner Nathaniel Milligan slides into the booth. But
I would be honored.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, Coach Perliman, for your insights and wisdom, and you were, very humble, but you've certainly created an atmosphere here where coaches and athletes can excel. And so far this fall, I think I've been around here a long time, and I feel like this is the best start we've ever had to a school year in terms of athletics. And yes, in terms of wins and losses and state rankings and things of that nature, but also school spirit and also just Titans supporting Titans like you talked about. So it's a great time to be here at Trinity Episcopal School, and thanks to everyone who's supporting us at TESPN, watching these broadcasts. And we will take a brief break and come back for second half action. But thanks again, Anna Prilliman, and take about a 3 to 5 minute break, and we'll be back to catch the second half.
Thank you, Coach. Go Titans.
The second half.
All right, we are back for second half action, and Trinity Episcopal will receive the second half kickoff.
Episcopal flag in the student section.
22-0 lead. Student
Yeah.
section still looks pretty packed with the whiteout. I just briefly walked around outside. It's a great crowd out here on this beautiful autumn day, as Trey Ferguson is going to get a chance for a return here and didn't get very far. Great coverage by the Maroon. Silvio, you mentioned how Trey had so many big plays in the return game last year, but
Yeah.
he didn't even make it out to the 20, and I apologize. I didn't see who made the tackle because he
either.
deserves a shout-out. It was a heck of a tackle.
Number in the 20s, thought it was 22, but they don't have a 22, so I must have
Yeah,
saw the number wrong.
I didn't see it, but it was a great open field tackle, and Trey Ferguson's a very difficult player to tackle in space. So great start to the third quarter by the Maroon, and maybe, I'm sure their coaching staff and Coach Kadeem Rogers got on his guys a little bit at halftime, down 22-0, and challenged them, and at least on the first opening kickoff, they rose to the challenge. It's a run to Trey Grant, and he didn't pick up a whole lot either, as you see a renewed energy from the Maroon.
Yeah.
They just look a lot more alive.
It was engaged. The two plays they made so far stopped some of the biggest yardage players for the first half.
Yeah, so going to be 2nd and 9, and that 1 yard gain by Trey Grant might be his shortest gain all day. Pretty much every time he's touched it, he's picked up 5 or more yards, quite a few double-digit yardage carries, and this time it's a pass to Brennan Ridley, and he does complete that pass. Tegan Logan does to Brennan Ridley for 5 yards out to the 25. So it'll be 3rd and 4. And it's Trey Grant on 3rd and 4. He's going to get that first down. He needed 4. He picked up 6 out to the 30 and just across the 30 for a first down. So I think that was big because you could tell Episcopal came out really fired up for the second half. If they could have gotten a 3 and out, gotten the ball back and tried to get right back in this game. But now the Titans get a fresh set of downs, Silvio, and they look to go with some tempo here.
Yeah. It's always nice, Episcopal is down by 22. As you said, they still, were really clearly fired up for the second half, which always makes a game more entertaining and more exciting.
This pass is to Trey Ferguson. He was able to escape the first tackle, but then pushed out of bounds for a fairly short gain. And yes, Silvio, it's worth reminding viewers that when these two teams tangled last year up in Alexandria at Episcopal High School's Hummel Bowl, that the Titans had a 19-0 lead, and the Maroon came back and won it 20-19. So I'm sure that most of these Titan players who were on the team last year and the coaches were reminding them at halftime not to have any slip in concentration and have a repeat of last year's epic comeback by Episcopal. And Trey Grant this time carries for a couple yards. It's going to be 3rd and 4, maybe 3rd and 5 actually. And I mentioned Hummel Bowl, but for our fans who may be viewing who are fans or students at Episcopal High School, that is one of the great venues that I've gotten to go to in high school football. It's a really cool natural bowl and just a beautiful campus up there in Alexandria. And an unbelievable school. So got nothing but love for EHS.
It's all right.
And EHS coming through with a huge play there. Charlie Smith from Alexandria, Virginia, is able to get a sack, and it's going to force a punt for the Titans. I think the first time they've had to punt today.
Yeah.
By our executive producer, Carter Tyree, graduate of St. Stephen St. Agnes, did not enjoy my soliloquy about Episcopal. And I believe Coach Tyree's mom, also a longtime teacher over there at St. Stephen St. Agnes, also a great school and a lovely campus.
Good punt by JD, though.
Yeah, good punt by JD Stemhagen is fair caught by Justin Armstead. And so pretty good field position for the Maroon. They'll take over just across their own 35, and we'll see the Titan defense, who pitched a first half shutout, try and continue to keep zeros on the scoreboard in that guest column. But yeah, that was a huge sack by Charlie Smith. If you're EHS, you could not afford to give up any more points in that first possession. So great job by Smith there. And now Brady gets pressured as well. He's brought down. He got rid of the throw, so it's going to be incomplete. But Robbie Dunn brought him to the ground just after he got rid of it. Great pressure by Robbie Dunn, another one of our senior college-bound football players who will be going to VMI next year.
Is he playing football or lacrosse out there?
Football, but Robbie's also a very good lacrosse player, but he is committed to the football program at Virginia Military Institute. He's going to have to cut that hair. I don't think that mullet's going to fly in Lexington. 2nd and 10. Pass complete for a short gain, and Jay Williams makes the tackle. It's a 4-yard pickup.
Jay Williams on the tackle for the Titans.
3 and 5 for 3 and 6
And
for
I
Episcopal.
I think it was Benning on the catch.
Yeah.
He's gotten the ball a lot today, and he's going to be sore. He's been tackled hard. 3rd and 6 at the 40. Good pressure, but he gets it away. It's caught by Boom Jock, and that's a first down and a 20-yard gain. And great snag by Boom Jock. There was a touchdown-saving tackle made by Cam Fleming. I think if Cam Fleming hadn't brought him down, Jock was gone.
Yeah.
And Episcopal goes with a hurry-up offense here. They do not huddle. Titans wanted to make some subs, but they weren't able to. John Brooks is chasing Brady, and this pass is incomplete, but there is a flag, and I think it's going to be a late hit. And then another flag comes in, as it looked like John Brooks hit Brady after he got rid of it. So I think it's going to be a personal foul on the Titans. But then number 55, Justice Umelo, another player out of Canada, came in late and pushed Brooks, which, he wants to protect his quarterback, but the whistle had blown, and what I think we're going to end up with are probably offsetting personal foul penalties. And not really smart on either part, but, if you're Episcopal, you were going to get 15 yards, and I think they just gave it back.
Yeah.
Right, so roughing the passer like we thought. And then dead ball late hit. He hasn't signaled, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be on Episcopal. Unsportsmanlike conduct, yeah, against Episcopal. So
Two offsetting penalties there.
offsetting penalties.
Offsetting penalties, no change in yardage, but a first down from the Maroon.
Yeah, that's a tough one when you want to protect your quarterback.
Yeah.
I get it. He got hit late, but you also just gave up 15 yards.
15 yards.
Umelo ran in and just got in the face and pushed John Brooks, and now it's still at the 41 instead of, or rather the 39. They misspotted it, but 1st and 10 from the 39. Blitz He gets rid of it off the hands of Boom Jock, and it falls incomplete.
Pass intended for
And I think 3 Titans near that ball. None of them able to take it, though.
Yeah, when that popped up in the air, I definitely thought if you're an Episcopal fan, you're just praying it makes its way to the ground, because if those Titan DBs could have gotten a hand on it and intercepted it, they can fly. All right, 2nd and 10.
Sorry about that.
And a good pass complete out in the flat, and a good gain from Aiden Nelson.
Yeah.
pass is complete.
It's
Aiden Nelson.
Wasn't sure
close
who's
to a
looking
first
there.
down. I think he's going to mark him a yard short. So 3rd and 1 at the 30.
Yeah. Wasn't say took him out there, but really good. You know, we're seeing in the second half here a lot more progressive yardage from the Maroons than we saw first half. You know, relating to last year, as you said, you know, they came out scoreless and they went into beating the Titans. I think they have that energy again.
Yeah, although a really unfortunate play there from an Episcopal standpoint, as Alexander Brady dropped the snap, and 3rd and 1 becomes 4th and
7-yard
8.
loss on the play.
And
Ends up 4th down and 8
like
for the
he's-
Maroons.
it looks like I think they're going to go for it, which I think you pretty much have to, down 22. But 4th and 8 is a much different challenge than they would have had at 3rd and 1. And timeout called by Episcopal.
Yeah.
You can see the coaching staff is frustrated that I think their guys were not lined up how they wanted them, and obviously this is a massive play.
Yeah.
If you're Episcopal down 22-0, this 4th down, you really need points on this drive. So if you don't get this, you're looking at a mountain to climb. So I think if you don't like the play, you don't like the formation, I get why you call the timeout. But
Yeah.
Silvio, as you know, I do hate not having timeouts in my back pocket as a coach late in the game. And let's say Episcopal is able to cut it to a 1-possession game late and needs to stop the clock. That's one less chance to do that.
Exactly.
Big 4th down after the timeout by the
Looks like
Maroons.
they are going for it, as you said.
Yeah, they are going for it. And we got 2 receivers out to the left, 2 out to the right, as well as a running back. Crowd's getting loud. Pass is complete to Boom Jock. What a catch.
Yeah.
He had Mario Thompson draped all over him, but
Yeah.
great job by the Colorado State commit, Boom Jock, out of Mankato, Minnesota.
Wow, yeah. Pretty thorough.
And this time Brady runs and slides for about the 5th time today. Picked up pretty good yardage there. We're going to say it was 5 yards, so 2nd and 5, very manageable down and distance for the Maroon. And this time they do huddle. Brady went over to the sidelines to get the play. And flags fly. Some sort of pre-snap penalty, so usually those are on the offense. False start. And that 5 yards that Alexander Brady just gained with his legs, they're going to give it right back on the penalty.
I really do hate to see the false start plays. Never very exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, it's frustrating for the coaches for sure. So 2nd and 10. Brady gets rid of it quickly, caught, and the ball came out, but now actually they're going to say it was incomplete. So it looked like Anderson Brady,
Yeah.
who is from Pinehurst, North Carolina,
As well
as is Alexander Brady. What do you think, Silvio? They might be related?
Maybe, you know.
Maybe.
Maybe it's a big coincidence.
From the home of one of the great golf courses in America, Pinehurst.
Yeah.
The Brady brothers were not able to complete that pass and catch, and it's 3rd and 10. Brady's flushed out to his left, gets rid of it, and I think he was just trying to live to fight another day on that one. And they're going to go for a field goal attempt here. So at 22-0 down, in theory, that could be 3 touchdowns if you get a 2-point conversion in there. But
Yeah.
if they're able to convert this field goal, get on the scoreboard, make it 22-3, then obviously at that point, 3 touchdowns and extra points would get you the lead. But it's a lot that has to happen between now and then. So the first thing that has to happen is Tad Tan has to make this kick. We know he's got a strong leg. It's a 41-yard attempt. Snap is good. The hold is down. The kick is good. Just inside the left upright. So a 41-yard kick by Tad Tan. Unfortunately, there is a player down, Bryce Ebethan, who's been, we think, one of the most impressive Episcopal players all day, is down after that kick. Hopefully, well, I won't speculate, but hopefully it's nothing too serious.
Yeah.
Silvio, quick quiz question for you.
Oh, okay.
Silvio is not warned that I was about to quiz him, but what is the name of the Trinity Episcopal Football Stadium?
Aycock Stadium.
It is Aycock Stadium, and I'm happy to report that Dr. Tom Aycock, for whom the stadium is named,
Yeah.
and his incredible wife, Kay Aycock, and their son, Chris Aycock, are all watching us now. So I want to give a big
Oh, wow.
shout out to Dr. Aycock. I think the highlight for me of 2022 was our road trip to Philadelphia to see the Elite Eight and see former Titan turned Tar Heel Armando Baycott cut the nets down and win the East Regional basketball in Philadelphia, and got a chance to go with Dr. Aycock, and it was a really magical day.
Oh, wow.
And glad to know that he's watching the game, doing well, along with Kay and Chris and the grandkids down there at Lake Gaston, enjoying this beautiful Saturday.
It looks like Ebenon will be walk off the field with
Yeah.
minimal assistance. So it looks like he's all right, maybe just a little.
Yeah, that's good to
Shaking
see him able to get off the field pretty much under his own power. And Trey Ferguson is not going to field this one, which is not good, because that's going to be Episcopal ball, and I really don't know what Trey Ferguson was thinking there. It looks like neither does he, as he has thrown his hands on his head. I don't know if he just lost it in the sky, but he didn't try and field it, and Episcopal got down there in a hurry. They fall on the ball, and it's going to be maroon ball in phenomenal field position at the 13 of the Titans.
We're going to have to see some really good stoppage from Titans here to make sure that Episcopal isn't on their tail.
Yeah, wow. So they've cut the lead to 19, the exact differential that they came back from last year. And now with great field position, this has got to be probably the most momentum that's been in the corner of Episcopal so far today. Big blitz. Brady got rid of it, but it's going to end up being a loss of yardage as Cam Fleming, number 2 for the Titans, threw Boom Jock, number 2 for the Maroon, for a loss there. There's also great pressure applied off the edge.
By was it Robbie Dunn?
Yeah,
believe?
I think it was Robbie Dunn. So Robbie Dunn was right in Brady's face. Brady was able to complete the pass to Boom Jock, but Cam Fleming made sure he went down immediately, and 2nd and 12. This pass incomplete, and it is going to be a flag as Deuce Edwards. I mean,
Yeah, I don't think it was Deuce. I think it was.
well, Hunter Brooks was on the coverage, but then when the ball hit the ground, Deuce came in and hit the receiver. Maybe he thought he caught it, but it's definitely going to be a personal foul. They're even. It looks like I saw the ref making a signal of targeting. Personal foul targeting, yeah. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down, and maybe it's not automatic first down actually. But still, that's going to put Episcopal all the way at the 7. And it is second down, but it would have been 3rd and 12. And now the officials are going to discuss something.
Maybe a miscommunication there.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It should be a first down, but the marker still says second down. All right, well, bottom line is Episcopal is the furthest they've progressed in the game. First time they've been inside the 10. Brady keeps it, goes to the outside, and he gets to the 5.
Brady keeps it for Episcopal.
A lot of players were there, wasn't able to see who stopped him.
Yeah, I think Cam Fleming, Elijah Rayner were definitely in the vicinity.
Yeah.
It does get a little hard for us in our vantage point when it gets inside the 20, which is not a great angle for us. But 3rd and 2 from the 5. So Episcopal could get a first down without getting a touchdown. This time Brady comes under center. They look to sneak it, and he's got nothing. Ball may have even come out. No, they're going to say he was down. Well, I should say the ball did come out. However, the official said he was down, so there was no gain there by Brady, as he's mostly been out of the shotgun all day, but he that time took the snap from under center, tried to push forward, but there was no room for him at all, and a great job of penetration by the defensive line of the Titans. So 4th and 2. Offense still on the field. Play clock's down to 5. And I think they're going to have to call a timeout. I don't think they're going to get this play off. And indeed they do. So that's the second timeout the Maroon have used here in the 3rd quarter. It's going to leave them with just one in their back pocket for the remaining 13 minutes and 43 seconds of this game. But, again, you have to have it.
Yeah.
You have to have this touchdown if you're Episcopal. And so while it is a shame for them to only have one timeout left, at the same time, if you don't get a touchdown here, it's just about curtains at that point. So, and the play clock was at 1.
Yeah. Overall, though, as you said, this is the furthest Episcopal's been able to get into the Titan. I think it's due to, as we were pointing out, Boom Jock. I think Boom Jock's been so aggressive, as well as making the big plays of the yardage that Episcopal's seen all day.
Yeah.
As well as the little mishap Trey Ferguson had there with not fielding the
on that kickoff, which put Episcopal in this position. So huge 4th down here, 4th and 2. Brady's back in the shotgun, looking for the slant. It is incomplete, and wow, that was a good throw. I believe it was for Anderson Brady, but he couldn't haul it in, and the Titan defense gets a big stop. That was a huge play in the game, and it looked to me like the throw from Alexander Brady was pretty on target, but Anderson Brady may have heard some footsteps from these Titan DBs, and he couldn't hang on. So Titans will take over. It's terrible field position at their own 5, but still you got to be happy if you're a Trinity fan that they are able to get off the field with no damage from that Trey Ferguson, as you said, mishap. I think that was a good way to put it.
Automatic first down on the cover.
And Trey Grant, explosive run. He picked up 10
Trey Grant
and a first down. So that helps
first down.
when you're in the shadow of your
Yeah.
own goal line. All right, 1st and 10. Trey Grant again. He picked up another
Trey Grant
8 or so yards there.
Titans.
Actually thought perhaps the Maroon got away with a face mask.
Maybe. Trade Mario swapping here.
Yeah, so Mario Thompson into the backfield, and he had some good runs in the first half.
Yeah.
And also keeps Trey Grant fresh.
One thing we haven't seen is many passes to Davion Brown and Isaiah Robinson in just a while. Titans have been focused on more running the ball to Trey Grant, Mario Thompson.
Mario Thompson on carry for Trinity.
Yeah, that time Thompson does carry it, and I thought he got the first down, but he did not. So they're going to mark it at the 25. It's 3rd and 1. Episcopal made a lot of substitutions, and they're going to get to Mario Thompson, throw him for a loss, and that's 4th down. So great job by this Episcopal defense to stiffen up and make a stop, and that's going to be the last play of the 3rd quarter.
Yeah.
And you may hear the buzzer in the background that ends the 3rd quarter. So score at the end of the 3rd quarter, Trinity Episcopal 22, Episcopal High School 3. Silvio, on the one hand, if you're a Titan fan, I think before the game, if someone had offered you a 19-point lead going into the 4th quarter, you would have taken it.
Yeah.
On the flip side, though, momentum is definitely in the corner of the Maroon. They won the 3rd quarter and have showed much more life both in offense and defense, and special teams as well.
Yeah.
And so this game feels like it's not over. And again, very impressed with how Episcopal played in that 3rd quarter. So right before the buzzer, I heard the Titan coaching staff call for the punt team on this 4th, and it's 4th and a long 1. But, and we see J.D. Stemhagen, the punter, trotting out there. So the 4th quarter will begin with a Titan punt. And it's a pretty good punt. Fair catch is called for and made just across midfield by Justin Armstead. So Episcopal will take it over at their own 48. Good field position, although still if you're the Titan coaches, you were just having to defend them at the 5, and now they're back around midfield. So you take it. One other thing to look for, and it's not a hot day. It's a pretty perfect low 70s, low humidity. So hopefully fatigue won't be a factor. But the last couple games, by this point in the game, the starters were done for the day. So they haven't really had to play the starters 4 quarters since that Benedictine game. And we see a sack there. John Brooks. There is a flag that came in late.
One of the first ones for the Titans, I believe.
Yeah, it's going to be against Episcopal holding, and that's going to be declined. So that's a great job by John Brooks. Robbie Dunn was also in there. Loss of 6. It's going to make it 2nd and 16, and that's a great start to quarter number 4.
Oh, for sure.
Ball swung out. Wow, interesting. I really thought that was a lateral, which would have made it a live ball, but the officials are going to call it incomplete. So 3rd and 16 as Cedric Benning, the junior out of Baltimore, Maryland, was not able to hang on to that pass by Brady. I don't know if folks can see this on the stream. They're probably just out of your picture, but there's a small group of what look to be Episcopal students behind their sideline, and they've been waving their Episcopal flag the whole game. And I want to give those guys props for making the trip down from Alexandria and literally carrying the flag for their school.
The third timeout was just called by Episcopal. And, I always ask you this, but they have no more timeouts.
Yeah, I hate that.
Half, they are down. They're able to make a comeback here. How do you feel having no timeouts in your back pocket at all?
I hate it. I would say, so I coach soccer and we don't have timeouts. But I coached basketball for a long, long time, and we do have timeouts. And I would almost go as far as to say, like, I feel an anxiety when there's no timeouts. I mean, because you can't stop the clock. If you need to get your guys over and talk, that option's done. And you're right. In a game like this where you're down 19 with just over 11 minutes to go, your best case scenario is to get into the last couple minutes being close enough with a chance, but you can't stop the clock. So, yeah, I would not like that if I was the Episcopal coaching staff. But at least to their credit, they came out of the timeout with a really strong play. It was 3rd and 16, and they picked up 14. So it's still 4th, but it's 4th and short. And it was Brooks Whitmire, the senior out of Alexandria, Virginia, with the catch.
Yeah, another really good play by him. I think he had other one in the second quarter for some yardage. We're finally seeing, more of the passing play Episcopal offers and some good yardage they're actually getting in.
Yeah. All right, big play here. 4th down. He's got a receiver open. It's caught. It's Whitmire again as he found a little seam in the zone, and that's a crucial 1st down for Episcopal. And for, I think, probably the first time this season, I'm seeing the Titan DBs, they seem to be, I don't know if I'd say arguing, but they're definitely not all on the same page right this second. Another pass complete, but this one will go for a loss of a yard as Cam Fleming came up and quickly made the tackle.
Yeah.
Cam Fleming is such a good tackler.
Oh, he is. I mean, like talk about Hunter Brooks, power and the strength of his tackle, but the amount of tackles Cam Fleming makes is just absurd. Each game, he's just, when you think a guy's down, it's normally Cam Fleming in the area at the minimum.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, but so Cam Fleming's committed to Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech head football coach Brett Pry is here today.
Oh really? Wow.
Along with assistant coach Fontel Miles. So the Maroon get off this 2nd down play. They're going deep, but clearly Whitmire and Brady were not on the same page there. And actually, I see Brooks Whitmire tapping his chest saying, "My bad. I think he ran the wrong route. He cut in. Brady expected him to cut out." And that's going to bring up 3rd and 12. But, so Coach Pry, of course, Tech played Thursday night and lost pretty badly to West Virginia 33-10. But Coach Pry dusting off and making the trip to Richmond to see future Hokie Cam Fleming today. 3rd and 12. And that's a great pass to Boom Jock. He's
going.
Knocks off a tackler, and that's a touchdown. Episcopal. Boom Jock with the score from 35 yards out. And this game is far from over. Makes it 22-9.
See what Ted Tan, if they're going for the extra 1.
Yeah.
Could be going for extra 2.
Yeah, Ted Tan is on to kick the extra point, which I would actually go for 2 here, because if you could cut it to 11, then a touchdown, 2-point conversion, and a field goal would. But they're going to just take the 1 and make it 22-10. Tad Tan with plenty of leg. He might have put that one on the softball field. Not like literally. I think it went to the softball field, which for those familiar with Aycock Stadium is a good probably 30 yards behind the goalpost. So what a second half by Episcopal. At
Fourth quarter,
22-0 at halftime, it looked like it could get ugly, but great job by the Maroon to hang around, and now just a 2-possession game.
Yeah. I thought I'd tell you him when the smoke in the student section you saw earlier was baby powder.
Baby powder, okay. The old LeBron James. There's a lot of baby powder.
It was a lot. There's a lot covering the stands.
I thought it was like dry ice, like you see sometimes when teams run out.
Oh yeah.
Like University of Miami started that, but now I feel like everybody does it, where they have the smoke. I don't know if you saw last year. I think it was the home opener for at the time, Washington football team, now the Commanders. Their smoke machine was like way on overdrive. The players were like choking. There was so much smoke. It was really bad look. Kind of par for the course at FedEx Field, though. All right, big kickoff by Ted Tan. Goes into and through the end zone. And it's going to be a touchback.
Something we rarely see, especially in high school. Touchbacks just become rare. So having a kicker be able to do those is always nice for your season, as well as I believe we mentioned earlier, Episcopal 1-0. They've had a late start season, so they haven't had as many games as Trinity. So it's still very early in their season for Episcopal.
Yeah, and I do think as a boarding school, they're not able to start their season quite as early. You know, our first game was August 27th against
Something
Benedictine.
like
I'm not even sure they would have been back at school by August 27th. So they've only played, like you said, the one game, which was 2 weeks ago at Loudon Valley, large public high school. And great first play of this drive, as it's an 11-yard run and a first down. And Titans not, you might think with a 12-point lead and just under 9 minutes to go, you'd want to run clock, but they snap it quickly, and the second down carry goes for very limited yardage, maybe 1 yard for Trey Grant.
I think he might have been stuck behind one of his O-line players there.
Tegan Logan looking to pass, and he's hit hard. It's going to be picked off. Interception, and they're going to take it all the way back for a score, although there are multiple flags. I'm pretty much positive that the return for the touchdown is going to be negated on some illegal blocks.
You see who caught that interception? It was not able to read the number.
Yeah, huge hit. I think Cooper Gardner of the Titans got rocked there on the return, although I think he's okay. I mean, Tegan Logan, the quarterback, took a very hard hit as well. So, yeah, I mean, this thing is very much not over. And I was actually about to say before that play that this Episcopal defense is fresh. They haven't had to play much in the second half.
Yeah.
Titan defense probably getting a little bit fatigued, and now, so no touchdown. I mean, he did. I don't believe I said the name yet, but Luca Farinaccio, another player out of Canada, returned it for a touchdown, but there was an illegal block, and
take over on offense.
So it's going to end up being an Episcopal ball right at midfield on the 50. Trailing 22-10, but firmly the momentum
Is in their favor.
is in their favor, no question. Looks like the Maroon are maybe one player short. They have no timeouts, as we've discussed, so play clock down to 2. They do just get it off in time. Incomplete. Good coverage there by Elijah Rayner and Hunter Brooks, two of the great linebackers on this Titan defense. All right, 2nd and 10. Brady's pass is through the hands of J.C. Cloutier. Cloutier was big in the first quarter. We haven't called his name as much. Pass was a little high. It looked like Cloutier thought he could have caught it. He looked a little frustrated with himself, but he had to climb the ladder to even get hands on it. So 3rd and 10, and this Titan defense, which has been on the field virtually the entire second half, has the opportunity. Well, of course, it's 4-down territory for sure, but to try and put them in a 4th down situation here. 5 wide receivers. And this pass is batted up and picked off. Deuce Edwards with the interception. And that is a huge stop. Great job by Deuce Edwards. He's honestly had a little bit of a tough day with a couple pass interference penalties and a targeting penalty, but he makes a huge play there. It was first batted up in the air
by, I think, Zaire Rayner.
Was Zaire that got a hand on it first?
Zaire.
And Deuce with a big interception. I mean, if he had made that one tackler miss, he would have taken it all the way.
Yeah.
But still, that's a massive stop. And this is where Episcopal having no timeouts. This final 7:36 is the clock's presumably going to run a lot. And Trey Grant is presumably going to run a lot. And he runs there for 3.
Grant on the carry for the Titans for a 3-yard gain.
And I think if you're Coach Mickens right now, keeping that clock moving is priority 1.
Yeah.
And the way to do that is keep it on the ground. And if you can get a few first downs, that's going to be a penalty, though. And these self-inflicted wounds, I mean, a false start.
Brings up 2nd down.
I think it might have come from the tight end, Carter Schuma. Or may have been Carlos Moore, the right tackle. It definitely came from that right side of the line. So it's now 2nd and about 13. Clock will continue to run. Titans wanted to huddle, but the play clock is already at 10. So Trinity still has all 3 second-half timeouts. Trey Grant carries for a good gain.
Yeah.
Really good gain. And
Trey Grant on the carry for the Titans.
Trey Grant picked up, let's see, it was 2nd and 13. I think he got about 9 yards across midfield.
Brings up 3rd and
So
4.
it'll be 3rd and 4. And, the offensive linemen often don't get a lot of credit, but Ryan Mitchell, the center, had a block there that was impressive.
Yeah.
Ryan Jr., another guy who's a likely college football player. And on 3rd down, they look to run it, and nothing doing for Trey Grant. Great job.
Trey Grant tackled by
JC there.
Episcopal's J.C. Cloutier.
Cloutier with the tackle. And it's going to be 4th down, and we're going to see the punt unit again. So Trinity did not have to punt at all in the first half, but had several punts here in the second half as the EHS defense has really stiffened.
Yeah.
And also no first downs there means they weren't able to run too much time off the clock, and that's not a good punt. That punt was only about 9 yards, and
Punt goes out of bounds.
it's going to be pretty good field position for Episcopal.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you're Coach Mickens, you're hoping for a great punt to pin him inside the 20. I'm pretty sure if he could have known it was only going to be a 9-yard punt, wish he'd just gone for it.
Yeah, I mean, as you have said, the Titans defense got to be fatigued. One thing about Trinity, such a diverse roster, that they have the spots available where we don't have a lot of players playing both offense and defense.
Yeah.
Whereas Episcopal, we see JC Gutierrez. We see JC. He's playing both offense, defense. Making him a little more tired as a playmaker.
Yeah, good call. Oh, what a hit by Hunter Brooks. Wow. I mean, that was such a great tackle by Hunter Brooks.
Yeah.
He had a huge hit last week as well.
Oh, yeah.
Clean, hard, and Hunter will be playing football at Davidson next year, which is a program that's really on the rise down in North Carolina. Episcopal looks pretty confused in terms of their alignment here, and Cloutier, who, as you mentioned, playing both ways, is split out to the right. It could be picked again, no, but that one popped up as Mario Thompson and Jay Williams made the hit, and that ball hung up for what felt like an eternity before finally hitting the ground. All right, 3rd and 10. Flag flies. Brady's throw is incomplete. Let's see who the flag is on. I think it's going to be against Episcopal. Legal formation. Titans will decline. And 4th and 10.
And it will be 4th and 10.
It looks like
for Episcopal.
They're going to punt. I don't really get that. 4:33. You have no timeouts. All right, well, they're going to punt. And it's going to allow the Titans, as long as they protect the ball, to run at least a couple minutes off the clock. Fair catch by Trey Ferguson at the 29. So Titans will take over there, and I thought, I think that if they get 2 first downs, it's pretty much going to salt that clock away.
Yeah.
With the Maroon being out of timeout. So interesting decision there to not go for it. I mean, they're at their own 40, but they still need 2 scores.
Titans offense back out on the field here.
Yeah, handed off there to Trey Grant. He gained about 5 yards.
Taken down, I think, by 3 Episcopal members there.
5-yard gain.
And by the time Trinity snaps it again, it'll be under 4 minutes to go in this 4th quarter.
As you said, I believe we're probably going to see Trey Grant be running for these first downs in the late 4th quarter.
The handoff to Trey Grant. He fights hard for about 3 yards, and it's going to be 3rd and 3. Carlos Moore is down for the Titans, the big right tackle who is headed to Hampton University to play football, and Coach Mickens, Dr. Steve Reese, and athletic trainer Mark Hall all out there checking on Los.
Hope he's
So it looks like Carlos Moore's gonna get up. Gets up, jogs off. That's great to see. Gets a huge ovation from the crowd. Holding his shoulder a little bit. I think that may have been a stinger, which super painful, but he looks like he's okay. Now he is gonna have to sit out a play since the training staff came out, so he's a guy that Trey Grant loves to run behind, as Carlos Moore is like 6'7", 320.
got to be somewhere up there. Yeah.
Something like that. He's a mountain of a man. So with him out, it shifts some things over. So now Ryan Mitchell.
6'6", 350, yeah.
350? My bad, Los. Shortchanged him about 30 pounds there. And all right, so Titans are going to call a timeout.
Does that allow Lowe's to come back in after the timeout?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. If by calling timeout, that might allow him to come back in. But Doc Reese is still working with him. I think they want to make sure there's nothing more serious.
Yeah.
If he's not able to go, it shifts Ryan Mitchell, who's normally the center, over to right tackle, and then I think Will Rosen becomes the center. And but Los is jogging back in, so I think he is probably going to be good to go, which is huge because on 3rd and 2, obviously, a down where they're likely to run it, and Carlos Moore at 6'6", 350 is back in the ball game. Pretty much everyone who's been here has stayed. Student section still looks pretty full.
Yeah.
The bleachers in front of us full. Big play here, really big play. Episcopal's got to get a stop. They are actually going to throw, and they're going to get the first down. Brennan Ridley picks it up. That is a huge first down out to the 44, and now the Maroon with no timeouts their really only hope is to create a turnover here.
Yeah.
So Titans probably going to bleed this play clock down, and while they're doing that, just want to talk about some upcoming broadcasts on TESPN. I think all we have next week is volleyball on Wednesday, but the following week we got a bunch, as they do snap it and hand off to Trey Grant. He's going to cross midfield. A good gain. Picked up 7 yards.
Yeah.
And by the time they snap it again, we should be under 2 minutes to go. Yeah, so we have volleyball against Collegiate on Wednesday. Silvio, you'll be on the call for that one.
Yeah.
I think Ash Bell will be there as well, who's been doing great work for us, keeping on the family tradition. And the following week, which is Spirit Week, I think we have 1 or 2 field hockey games. We've got soccer against St. Christopher's, our top-ranked in the state boys soccer team. We play number 3 St. Christopher's that Friday, the 7th, and then the football game on the 8th against St. Michael the Archangel homecoming. And
Trey Grant with the first down there.
it was another handoff and another first down by Trey Grant. And with that, that should just about do it, as the clock will wind with 1.5 minutes to go. Trey Grant checks out. Mario Thompson checks in. And we said no one had really left, but some people are starting to trickle out and realize this game is just about over. Mario Thompson runs it into the line for no gain. So Silvio probably probably have one more snap.
Yeah.
From the Titans standpoint, great first half.
Yeah.
22-0 halftime lead against a team, that beat you last year, that has a rich football tradition. Still going to be happy to get out of here with a win. However, second half, offense wasn't able to put up any points. Some turnovers, some penalties, some things to clean up.
Yeah. As you were saying, I think, not only the Titans, probably they didn't play as well as the first half, but Episcopal, just the amount of level they put into their play during the second half was, the reason they have the 10 points on the board and the reason they played so well. So I think, give credit to the Episcopal defense, especially offense there, how well they played second half.
Yeah, so that will do it. And, yeah, I think it's a great sign for how far this program has come and what a great place this program is in, that after a 22-10 win against a traditionally excellent team, you actually still feel like could have played better. So I think it's important to focus on the big picture. This win's going to move Trinity to 4-0 on the season with a big trip up to Northern Virginia coming next weekend, Friday night. The Titans' next game is going to be against St. Mary's Riken, which is a school out of Maryland, but they're actually playing it at a facility called the St. James in Springfield, Virginia, and that's actually going to be an indoor game.
Wow.
So I don't know if we would call it a dome, but I believe that'll be the first time in school history of playing an indoor football game next Friday night against St. Mary's Riken out of the powerful WCAC conference. So I think if they play like they did in the second half, then they're going to be in for a long night. If they play like we know they're capable, like they did in the first half today, then this Titan team is really, really strong.
Yeah.
All right, so as we wrap up, just want to get from you, Silvio, player of the game or people that you want to mention as we wrap up today's broadcast.
For Titans, I guess I'll do offense and you can do defensive handling.
Okay.
For offense, you got to give it to Trey Grant. I think overall, his runs, he only had, I think, one miscommunication with Hagan with the fumble. But other than that, Trey Grant with the strong runs, his touchdowns, I think he deserves the Trinity. And for Episcopal, I'm going to go with Boom Jock. I think the way he was able to make the catches and the way second half he played amazing. I think we give it to Boom Jock for Episcopal.
Yeah, Boom Jock with the one touchdown as well for the Maroon. For the Titans, defensively, I'm going to go with Cam Fleming. I almost feel like he's so good and so consistent that sometimes we can take for granted how good he is, the Virginia Tech commit, but he made so many big tackles today and key tackles on third and fourth down out in space. So I'm going to go with Cam Fleming. Defensively for Episcopal, Bryce Ebethan out of Canada, I think had a bunch of tackles.
Yeah.
He did limp off at one point, but he, for me, was a really impressive player, number 21 for Episcopal. So this was fun, a great afternoon, and another good win for the Titans.
Yeah.
Final score 22-10. Our next home game 2 weeks from today, homecoming against St. Michael the Archangel. Between now and then, this undefeated Titan team will head up, so as I just mentioned, to play St. Mary's Riken. And our next TESPN live broadcast will be Wednesday night, volleyball against Collegiate. So on behalf of associate producer Ellie Hoke, executive producer Carter Tyree, color commentator Silvio Troy, I'm Rick Hamlin. Thanks so much, everyone, for joining us. Great second half Episcopal, but ultimately, Titans win. Final score, Trinity Episcopal 22, Episcopal High School 10. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.